Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to our first Let's Play. We are going to be playing Rogue Legacy. Rogue Legacy is a roguelike where you play a family that is trying to conquer this castle. And each time you die, you select a new character who's a descendant of the character that you were playing. It's pretty fun. I'm playing it on a laptop through Steam with an Xbox 360 controller connected via USB. So we're gonna delete this second profile and start with the beginning of the game, the tutorial. And yes, we don't care about deleting the tutorial save. Alright, so we got this guy. He says, "My duties are to my family." Got this nice sepia tone to it. "But I am loyal only to myself." So you can move around, you can jump, hit things, break them, collect money. Helpfully tells you how you can jump. You can collect potions to increase your mana, which doesn't really mean anything right now. In true Castlevania style, you can collect wall chicken, although it's mostly furniture chicken here. Money bags give you higher amounts of money. Of course, it's now telling us that we can attack because we have an enemy here. Notice how when you attack something, it gives you a health little bar that tells you how much health it has left. Also, its level, which gives you a useful gauge of how hard it's going to be. Generally, you want to break as much stuff as you can, because that's how you get money, and you use money for everything that you need to buy. So you can hold down and press A to drop through ledges. It suggests using the control pad or the D-pad. I actually really like using the analog stick. Probably in a minority there. So if you are in the air and you hold down and press X, you can attack down, and helpfully tells us to attack that, and creates a kind of temporary platform for you to stand on. Door and press up to go inside. Some nice stained glass windows here. A chalice, monsters, and a king. What's this? We have to kill the king? Well, I guess if that's how we advance the game. We get to title. It takes us back to the title screen, Rogue Legacy. You always start out as this guy. He's the paladin. You can go back to the manor. The manor is where you buy upgrades. So one of the main places you buy upgrades. So the first thing you can buy is the smithy, which allows you to gain access to fat loot, which is one of the things I love about this game. It has a great sense of humor. Now, notice I start out at level 0. I've got 100 health, 100 magic. I can press B to use my spell, that dagger there. It normally costs 10 MP, but since I'm outside of the castle, it doesn't actually take any. I can attack this training dummy. I really like that it shows how much damage you do, but it's also fun because this training dummy says a whole bunch of things like, "Why? What did I do? Try again. Nice try. Okay, that one hurt." You can't actually kill this thing. It's also useful to test your down stabs. Notice that the down stab does a lot less damage. This is a very important skill to have, so I would test this out to get the timing right. And come up into the castle. It is a roguelike, so it's procedurally generated. The castle's different every time you go in. Collect gold. Okay, so you can find these tables. This is where you get the Prince's Journal, which is where you'll find the story for the game. Journal entry number 1. Treason! An assassin has wounded my father, the king. To bring order back to the kingdom, he has sent my siblings and I on a quest to save him. Together we will venture into the cursed woods and enter Castle Handsome, which is the castle we're in right now. This cursed castle has stood on the edge of the woods since time immemorial, but rumors say that within it dwells an item which will cure any ailment. Tonight I will get a head start over my brothers and sisters and set forth on my quest while they lay asleep. To fail this quest would be an embarrassment to my name. Helpfully it tells you you can view the map at any time. We have a nice little legend over there that you can use. Notice that it has these 4 areas listed. There's the castle where you start out, the forest to the right, the tower above, and the dungeon beneath. They have little squares next to them to denote the difficulty. So the castle's the easiest, then you go to the forest, which is a little harder, the tower, which is harder, and the dungeon, which is the hardest of the areas. In case you couldn't hear that, Lee wanted me to point out that when I say the dungeon, what I really mean is hell. We have this mysterious door. What could it possibly be? Ooh, mysterious. Alright, so we go in here and we face our first set of enemies. This guy over here, skeleton, throws bones at you. Notice you just saw the bones will go through walls. Those fire orbs that these wizards they're shooting at do not go through walls. Another thing you can see just there, there's that eyeball over there. When he fires from off screen, it gives you a little indicator to show that there's a projectile coming at you. Okay, now the nice thing is you can swing through the wall sometimes if you time it just right, like that. So I can kill this flame lock without ever actually being in danger from him. So lure him back over, kill him. Now these little spikes, these little holes there on the ground shoot out spikes a moment after you stand on them. So you gotta be careful of that. I just got hit by the skeleton's bone. The eyes, thankfully, are easy to kill because they're annoying because their projectiles go through walls, and walls are your friend in fighting enemies that throw things at you. Okay, here we see the wall turrets. We have to time the jump right to get through them. And then I almost don't time the jump right. We see these little spike balls. You can't do any damage to them, at least at this point. If they bounce around the stage enough, then they will be destroyed, and it counts as you killing them, which is pretty nice. There we saw there are other kinds of wizards aside from the fire one. There's also ice wizards that fire ice shards at you. Okay, let me clear this area out a bit before I start talking about it. Oh, well, yep, there we go. Okay, so let me talk about what just happened there. That chest that we saw, it's called a fairy chest. And fairy chests are really important because they are what give you access to runes. When you get into a room that has a fairy chest in it, it gives you an objective that you have to meet, and if you meet that objective, then you can then it unlocks the fairy chest and you can open it up. Inside the fairy chest you get runes, which are like permanent abilities and buffs that you can put on yourself, things like extra jumps and air dashes and things like that. The thing to know about fairy runes, or about fairy chests, is that often, if you have a room like that one where it's destroy all enemies, the enemies will be of a higher level than you'll normally see in the in that whatever area you are. So there, we had corrupt lords, which are more difficult versions of enemies that we'd normally see there, and that's why they kicked my trash. So once you die, you got this choose your heir function. And you can go back and see we have Johannes the Legendary Knight. That's who we were playing in the introduction, the tutorial, I guess. Then Sir Lee the Feeble Knight that we were just playing. And now we have 3 different children that we can choose from. So we have Sir Kenny the Knight, Sir Jenny the Knight, and Sir Charles the Mage. So choosing your heirs is where a lot of the replayability and the variability of the game comes in. If you see, they have traits. So like Sir Kenny has glaucoma, which means that my field of vision will be darkened if I play him. He has gigantism, which means he's a lot bigger, which has benefits and drawbacks. Drawbacks being that you're larger, so it's easier for enemies to hit you, but you also have a larger sword, which means it's easier for you to hit things through walls. So there's kind of that trade-off there. Then the class, the Knight. The Knight's the standard hero. It's what we were just playing. Your health and your magic will be equal at this point, and they have, just all around balanced. Here we have another Knight. Baldness just means that you don't have hair. The Caprolia trait means that anytime you get hit, you get a Cubert string. So, like this Lady Jenny, here with Sir Kenny, we have 2 traits that actually affect your gameplay. It being darker and your size, your hitbox being different. Whereas Lady Jenny has 2 traits that are both just purely cosmetic. I mean, occasionally the Caprolia the Cubert swears can get in the way of you seeing something, but that's very rare that holds up. It's mostly just cosmetic. And so you'll have mixes of these traits, things that actually affect the gameplay and things that are just cosmetic. Sir Charles here is a mage. He has dyslexia, which just will scramble the letters and text that you read. And then he has ADHD, which means that he moves slightly faster than other characters. You can also see that they start with different spells. So this guy starts with a scythe. That sends out 2 scythes, one that goes basically just horizontal and one that goes up at an angle, both in front of you. The chakram sends out a spinning disc of death that will then come back to you, and if you jump over it, it will continue past you. It doesn't come back again. It just has the one return, but if you jump over it, it can hit things behind you, and that can be pretty useful. And then you already saw the dagger that the mage here has. The mage, nice thing about the mage is the spells are more powerful, and killing things gives you mana, so you can use spells more often. They are, however, much more squishy, as mages tend to be. So I'm just going to take... I'll take Lady Jenny here. And see, I have 110 gold, so I can unlock Smithy. The blacksmith can build the finest equipment in the world, turning you into a veritably virtuous and violent villain vaporizer. Gathering blueprints will give him an even wider array of assorted armaments for your armory. So you have to, in chests throughout the castle, you'll find blueprints, which you can then bring back to the smithy, and he will be able to make that armor for you once you buy it. As you see, when you buy something for the castle expands. And this is pretty fun. You also see these have really high numbers. So right now, it only costs 60 to increase my health, but there's 75 levels for that. That's going to take a long time to get all of them up. The other thing to note is that every time you buy an upgrade for the castle, all of the other upgrades get more expensive. So you kind of have to plan out how you're going to grow your hero, because if you spend it on the wrong things, then other stuff can get a lot more expensive, and it becomes a lot harder to get the money you need to upgrade your castle in the ways you want. So I'm going to take some health. This unlocks the ability for me to choose to upgrade my knight. Each of the hero classes you get have an upgrade you can get for them that increases their strength. So for instance, the knight turns it into a paladin. Paladins have extra defense, and they can also press Y to block all incoming damage. Now that does have a mana penalty, and if you're out of mana, you can't use that anymore, but it can really save your butt when you're fighting, you know, in a bullet hell kind of situation. So we're going to exit the manor, because now we don't have any money left. Go here. Welcome, hero. Maybe you can help me. I used to be the greatest blacksmith in all the lands, but one day the monsters of this castle attacked my smithy and stole all my blueprints. Without those blueprints, I can only make cutlery and stuff. Please bring back any blueprints you find, and I can build the most amazing equipment ever. Ever! At a price, of course. So you start off with just a really basic set of stuff you can make, just limbs, a helmet, and a sword, but we don't have the money for it, so we're just gonna continue on. And now we have this guy here, Charon. One must pay the toll. So you have to give all of your money to Charon to enter the castle, so you can't, at least at this stage, save up any money between runs. So it's generally a good idea to spend all the money you can, but again, as I said before, any upgrade you buy makes the other upgrades cost more, so you kind of have to balance that when you're choosing your upgrades, and then you get that really annoying laugh that he has. And we're back to property damage. Okay, so here, oh, I sucked at that. We have these, oh, wow, I'm sucking at this. I'm so used to having extra jumps that this is harder. Oh, really? The castle is not being friendly this time around, which it usually isn't, so I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm almost dead already. And I'm dead. Be prepared to die a lot when you're first starting out. Let's see. Okay, the Knave. The Knave, as it says, is a risky hero, low stats, but can land devastating critical strikes. I don't generally like Knaves early game because the low stats really hurt you and your health and things. But especially once you start building up, those critical strikes are just amazing. See, we have another Knave. Hypergonadism means that your attacks knock enemies further back, which can be a blessing most of the time, but sometimes can get you into tight spots when you hit an enemy to somewhere you didn't really mean to. And then the Barbarian, which has tons of health. Okay, Dwarfism. If there's one thing that I really dislike about this game, it's the trait Dwarfism. There are frankly, a lot of places that you can only get to if you're a dwarf. And a lot of times those places have chests in them. So I will almost always pick a dwarf. If there is a dwarf among the children, I will almost always pick it, because it's just, you miss out on too much if you don't. And that's my one complaint, really, about the random traits. EHS, conducting electricity really well, just means that those temporary platforms that we've seen are just always out. They're permanent platforms. So I'm going to choose this barbarian here because he's a dwarf, and also I just like barbarians. I have 40 gold. I don't think that's going to be enough to actually buy anything. Let's see here. Yep, nope, and nope. Alright, well, I guess the 40 gold's just lost. Let me show you the arc of these. So the scythe, the bottom scythe, does go up a little bit, but it's horizontal-ish. But you can see the other one goes up at a steep angle. So we have to give Charon all our money, and in we go. Oh, and you can reread any journal entries you've already gotten here if you want, if you need a refresher on the story. Alright, so these guys, the Charites, they'll fly at you. You gotta get them. So the drawback of being a dwarf is your sword is much smaller, so it's a little bit harder to hit people without getting hit yourself. You also can't reach the cookies on the top shelf, at least, making sure that I remind you. Alright, yay for property damage! It all just regenerates next time anyway, so... One thing that I should note is while you are swinging your sword, you cannot turn around. So, if you're wanting to run away from someone, you have to kind of carefully plan when you're going to turn and strike, because you can't turn around and retreat as easily. Okay, so these guys... oh, let's kill this Charite coming at us. Okay, so this guy right here with the spear is the regular version of the corrupt lords that just wrecked my face earlier. All they do is they just move back and forth and shoot these beams. Not too hard. They're called corrupt knights at this level. Then we have the gray knights. They move slower, they have bigger swords, do a lot more damage, and they have more health. Now notice this gap in the wall here. That's one of the places that dwarfs can travel, but other people can't. In this case, it's not super useful. It just means I don't have to jump if I don't want to, but there are other places where it becomes much more necessary. Kill this Charite. Spikes obviously will hurt you. I mean, you saw that when I fell on them when I was sucking at that last run. Okay, so this chest. Notice how it has the silver trim. That means that it's a chest that will give you a blueprint. Normal chests are just regular wood. So I got a blueprint for a blood chest plate. That's pretty cool. As you saw, the portcullis to the castle closed when I came in, so I can't go back and buy it now. I just have to wait until the next run. Okay, these boxes shoot missiles. The safest way to take them out is just down strike them. You can also try and spam attack them, like, drop down and then spam the attack button. Apparently they also don't have a whole lot of health at this level. Alright. Charites. I think... Yes, okay, so notice how this painting is wiggling. That means it is a false painting, it is an enemy. If I hit it, it's gonna fly at me. Alright, so fairy chest. We're supposed to defeat all enemies. Oh, I don't have a double. I gotta remember I don't have a double. Okay, so that ice mage is a higher level ice mage. Like I said, you a lot of times will have enemies that are beyond what you really should technically have for an area because of the fairy chest. And these guys are very dangerous at this level, so I'm going to try and be really careful so that... Ow. I'm going to try and fail at being really careful. Okay. No, no, oh, alright, we're in trouble here. Oh, and there we go. Sir Darwin was slain by a corrupt knight. Okay, so we have Sir Lancelot, the barbarian, has Alzheimer's, which means your mini-map doesn't show up. You can look at the overall map, but you can't scroll it, so it's, you have to kind of remember more what's going on in the castle. Here we got baldness and dyslexia, which are two we've already seen. and hypergonadism we've seen, but savant. So savant, anytime you use your spell, there's a chance that it will randomly change to a different spell. So I like hypergonadism, so we'll take her. Let's go ahead and upgrade the knight so we get more options for building things, carrying capacity. Upgrade our magic. That doesn't actually increase our castle at all. We'll upgrade our equipment. Let's see what we've got here. We've got the Enchantress, which is where we get runes, or the Architect. I'm gonna go with the Enchantress. The money I have. Okay, then we can upgrade the Mage or increase our magic damage. We don't have money for any of that. There's a helpful exclamation point to let us know that we've got a new thing that we can build, or that we can make at the blacksmith. The blood chest is interesting because it decreases your health, but it also gives you vampirism, which heals you for every enemy you kill. So it's it's an interesting trade-off there. Hello, hero. Could I borrow your ear for a moment? I am in need of your help. I used to be a very powerful enchantress, but one day the monsters of this castle invaded my dreams and stole my knowledge. They encased that knowledge in runes, and without those runes I suck at my job. Please, hero, if you find any runes, bring them back to me, and then I'll sell it back to you at a profit. Oh, that's nice. They start out with a rune, a sprint rune. Ooh, and a vault rune. Okay, so I need get a little bit over 300 gold so I can get those two, because I'm sorely hurting from my lack of mobility. I just finished in my other profile on this. I have everything unlocked, so all the runes, a completely filled out castle, all of the armor, and I've got like 4 air jumps that I can do and like 2 air dashes, and so I'm used to having much more mobility. Oh, this guy can hit me through that wall. That's not nice. Or not. Ow. Nice. So you can tell which paintings are fake by the wobble. This painting doesn't wobble at all, so it's a real painting. It's not going to attack me. Ow. Ah, okay. Ha! I did not know that those guys could die on spikes. So there again, we saw that enemy is a higher level enemy than would normally appear in this zone. A lot of times you'll see that in rooms that just don't have a whole lot aside from a chest. Notice this chest didn't have the iron trim to it, so it just gave us money. And I say just gave us money, but we really need money. We're hurting for money. Still not quite at the just over 300 I need for both of the runes I want. And I'm almost dead, so I gotta try and be really careful here. These guys, their fireballs do not go through walls, so that's useful in planning out how to deal with them. We have a painting here that's gonna try and jump out and try and kill me. There we go. Alright, let's see here. Just a branching room. Oh yeah, I have hypergonadism. I've been killing things so fast that I wasn't really even noticing that. Alright, yep. So there I just launched that guy. Let's type this at it, doesn't it work? Ooh! Furniture chicken! I think we're gonna survive long enough for me to get enough money for both rooms that I want. Alright. Better stack it. Swung too soon there. Okay, we killed that guy. Killed the Grey Knight. Knocked this guy just... skeleton there. Oh. Oh. Ah. Just barely caught my foot. If you're having trouble with a boss, try using different runes. We haven't gotten to a boss yet. Let's see. So we have a knave, a barbarian. Let's see what we got. Dwarfism we already know. Electrophobia. So sometimes when you get a chicken leg, instead of being a chicken leg, it will turn into a zombie chicken kind of thing that will run around and can hurt you if it hits you. You have to kill it, and then it becomes a regular chicken leg. It's kind of annoying. Farsighted means just what it says. Anything close up around in a little circle around your hero is all blurry, makes it hard to see. And so let's see. I think this is going to be the last run through the castle we do. For this video. So we'll start with Lady Henrietta II the Knave, Dwarfism and Electrophobia. Alright, let's see. So first I'm going to go and get those 2 runes, because I am sorely hurting for my mobility. Oh, wow, it doubled in price. Okay, well I guess I'm not getting an extra vault. Air dash is still nice though. Let's see. Get magic damage up, and that did not give me any more into the castle. I thought it did. Alright, well, I guess the other 85 gold is just going to waste. See, in the early runs, your gold is so precious. Alright, let's see. Dash, that's going to be helpful. Oh. Okay, well that sound meant that we were getting a chicken, but it flew up into the ceiling, so it glitched up into the ceiling, so we don't actually get to see it. Notice we have these zombies. If you get too far away, they'll morph into the ground. When you get closer up, they'll come back up and start chasing after you. They're not too hard at that level. You can either find a ledge like that you can lead it to and safely hit it from, or you can, barring that, you can jump on it from above and be safe. Double jump, so I can't get up there. There we go. Didn't get anything for it. Thank you, air dash. Alright, let's see. That is made much easier by the air dash. So unlike the powered-up version of these guys that shoot out a barrage of the icicles, those guys just sort of shoot them out in a circle. If you're far enough away, it's usually not too bad to avoid them. Okay, these guys, the Gladiators. Obviously, they're powered-up versions of the Grey Knights. They're bigger, which means they also have bigger swords. They can also do a charge attack where they'll hold their sword behind their back for a longer time, and then they'll rush forward doing multiple swings. It's not going to do it, doesn't look like. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there. And then at the end, he fires a beam, just like the Lords do. Made it to our chest, so we get some money. Oh. Okay. This fairy chest of taking no damage is not particularly difficult if you have an air jump. I don't have an air jump, so I don't know that I can do it. And I'm kind of low on health, so I'm just going to pass on that. And then carelessly get hurt anyway. That's great. Get spikes. With the paintings that you just saw, one of the really good strategies is to chase after them when you first hit them, because you can usually get a second hit in, and a lot of times that'll kill them. This teleports me to a random place in the castle. As I have 8 health, that would be a bad idea. Especially since it doesn't just teleport you to somewhere else in, the castle proper here. It can teleport you to any of the 4 regions, which means it could teleport me right into the level 4 area, which would mean instant death for me. It'd mean instant death for me even if I was at full health. I'm not using my spells very much. I should start doing that. There's a class that you get later. Now, see, notice like that. That just cut out a whole thing of going around. If I wanted to go between those two exits to the room. Which I wouldn't have been able to do if I wasn't a dwarf. Oh. Alright, well, Lady Henrietta II was slain by a skeleton. Mastering mobility runes makes you awesome. Lady Henrietta's 2's parting words. I think we're going to end the video there. We'll be doing more Let's Plays for Rogue Legacy, so you can see the bosses and some more of the runes and the castle and some more of the heroes, and continue to follow the journey of this family as they seek the treasure hidden in Castle Handsome. But that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to subscribe to the channel and like the video and share it with your friends. But that's all we're going to do for this week. We'll see you again next week with more of Rogue Legacy.